So, ladies and gentlemen, I just didn't understand that this was actually a thing that happened. Apparently, people have fallen into the Grand Canyon. And today we're going to be reacting. It's not funny, but it's just the thought of something happening that I never thought was even a possibility. It does happen. We're going to be reacting to a history of falls into the Grand Canyon. Okay? Before we jump into this, I'd appreciate if you could like and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot. I was about to say, let's jump into this. No pun intended, okay? Do not jump into the Grand Canyon, but I'm jumping into the video, all right? A history of falls into the Grand Canyon. Fascinating horror. Okay.
On the 26th of February, 1919,
Oh, shit.
the Grand Canyon in Arizona officially became the 15th national park of the United States of America. The canyon, actually a gorge of the Colorado River, and the many tributary canyons which surround it,
But it used to be a
are
river.
mostly comprised of extremely rugged and sheer terrain, although areas along the north and south rim have been maintained and cultivated for the purposes of tourism. Dangers abound within the canyon itself, but even from well-maintained
Jesus
tourist areas
Christ,
on the
look
rim,
at that.
it is surprisingly common for people to fall to their death,
Do you think this all used to be filled with water at some point?
often in ways that completely defy belief.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
National parks in America are protected areas of wilderness, selected for their natural beauty, their unique geology and ecosystems, and for the abundant opportunities for hiking, exploring, and other recreation that they offer. The Grand Canyon National Park is among the most popular, and is indeed
So
considered
cool,
to be
man.
one of the 7 natural wonders of the world.
I did not know that. I didn't know it was a natural
Millions
wonder.
of people visit the Grand Canyon National Park each year, most of them without incident. They come to see the mind-bendingly vast gorge itself, to hike some of the many trails within it,
Can you get on a boat
to
and go around
observe
here?
ancient rock art and geological formations, and sometimes to enjoy river rafting or helicopter flights over the canyon.
You can do river rafting, man.
To a casual visitor, the idea that someone might fall from the rim into the canyon itself can seem absurd.
Yep.
The gorge is so vast, so unmissable,
Look at that,
and
though.
so obviously hazardous that it seems only logical that it should inspire caution in all those who venture close to it. And yet records exist of more than 50 falls, the majority fatal, over the course of the national park's existence. Most of these falls occurred not in remote areas off the beaten path, but instead at popular, busy viewing areas.
I'm going to say the viewing areas are
Specifically
probably
because of the high number of visitors.
fenced off and shit. So how? See, if people are climbing the fence to get the IG photos, bro, they don't deserve to fall off, but they had it coming. You play with fire, you get burnt.
Many of the most popular sightseeing areas have been fitted with railings or walls, as well as highly visible signs warning tourists to stay
You will
on the
die.
trails and away from the edge.
Just the sign should say that.
To further mitigate the danger,
Nothing
every
else.
visitor to the national park is given either a pamphlet or a verbal warning describing the most prominent risks to life. Rangers patrol on a regular basis, speaking to visitors whenever they can to curtail any dangerous behaviour. And yet still, despite all of this, falls do occur. 3 causes predominate when it comes to falls from the rim. First and foremost, people tend to fall when trying to take, or pose for, striking
I told you, man.
photographs.
These idiots, brother.
While death in pursuit of a selfie might seem like a relatively
I
modern
knew it.
phenomenon,
I
the
bloody knew
first
it.
fall of this kind occurred at a surprisingly early point in the canyon's history. On the 22nd of March,
Oh,
1925, 40-year-old Lewis W. Thompson
Oh, Lewis.
was attempting to take a picture of himself standing on the rim of the canyon. While stepping to one side to better frame his picture, he lost his footing and plummeted to his death. Since then,
Fucking
dozens of
horrible
other
way to
tourists
go, man.
have also passed away in pursuit of
It's a
the perfect
horrible
photograph.
way to go.
Among them is 20-year-old John Eric Hastrick. On the 27th of April, 1981, Hastrick was attempting to take a photo not of the canyon, but of the Bright Angel Lodge Hotel on the South Rim. Seeking a better angle, he clambered over a guardrail and, with his camera viewfinder glued to his eye, walked backwards towards the lip of the
Of course he did.
abyss.
Of course he walked
He
backwards.
went over the edge and fell to his death before he could line up the shot he wanted.
No, hey, guys, listen, I'm not laughing at people dying. I'm laughing at the stupidity. Like, it's just so blatantly obvious as to some things you shouldn't be doing. Because it's not as if you do not know the Grand Canyon is behind you and you start walking backwards. It's like walking backwards with a blindfold on through a motorway or a highway. You just wouldn't do it.
Almost 2 decades later, on the 19th of August 1999, 25-year-old Gabriel Comerford was visiting Moran Point on the South Rim. He wanted a souvenir photo and, being alone, asked some fellow tourists if they would help him take one. They readily agreed, and Comerford handed them his camera. He then clambered over the guardrail, walked out onto a narrow precipice, lost his footing, slipped down a rocky slope, and fell into the void. Not knowing what else to do, the tourist with his camera used it to take several photographs of Comerford's final moments. Not the souvenir he would have wanted.
Hey, yo, can we see them?
Many other people
see
have
them?
also fallen victim to the desire for the perfect picture on the edge of the Grand Canyon. Despite this, it is interesting to note that on almost any visit to the Grand Canyon National Park, many visitors can be seen in almost any popular viewing area, travelling beyond the railings, clambering onto precarious ledges, or taking other incredible risks in order to pose for pictures.
It's so dumb. It's so it's brain
The
rot.
second common cause of falls from the rim is more nebulous, but relates to the sheer scale of the canyon. Numerous reports exist of visitors being overcome with dizziness or a sense of vertigo when sitting on the canyon edge.
I wonder why.
One striking incident of this type took place on the 9th of March, 1989. 34-year-old tourist Gisela Elixman took a seat on the very edge of the canyon at Mojave Point on the South Rim and enjoyed the spectacular view.
Look at that, man.
When she tried to stand and move away from the edge, however, she was overcome with dizziness and fell to her death.
Not great.
Just 3 days later, the same thing happened again.
What?
21-year-old tourist Yuri Nagata was visiting the West Rim's second trail view overlook as part of a group tour. As they arrived at the viewing area, the tour group leader addressed the group, telling them of the terrible incident involving Elixman. Nagata dutifully listened to this cautionary tale, and then immediately walked to the railing, crossed it, and took a seat on the rim of the canyon. When one of her friends asked her to stand and pose for a picture, she, just like Elixman, lost her balance and fell into the void. While 2 identical incidents taking place so close together is rare, the story echoes throughout the history of the canyon. Before Nagata and Elixman, there was 21-year-old Elizabeth Hazelhurst, who, in 1971, sat on the rim of the canyon with friends and fatally lost her balance when she tried to stand. Before her, there was 17-year-old Herbert E. Kolb, who, in 1947, died in exactly the same manner after watching the sunset from the rim with his girlfriend.
That's
in each
fucking
case,
horrendous.
The victim took what they perceived to be a small risk. They sat on the edge of the canyon to take in the view. The very last view they would ever see. Thirdly, and finally, a small but significant number of falls have been caused by, quite simply, the desire to show off.
You idiot!
On the 28th of November, 1992, 38-year-old Greg Austin Gingrich was visiting the park with his family.
Don't tell me don't jump.
The group were hiking along the South Rim when Gingrich saw an opportunity to play a practical joke on his teenage daughter.
Oh no.
He planned to clamber up onto the low stone wall that separated the path from the canyon edge, then pretend to lose his balance and tumble off towards the void.
No way, man.
He would then hop down onto a ledge on the other side of the wall and hunker there for a moment or two, just long enough to give his daughter a fright.
I just don't understand. Even if he didn't die, right? Why the fuck would you do that? It's a prank, right? No one's laughing at that. No one's gonna laugh at you pretending to die.
before popping back up and revealing himself to be unharmed.
This prank didn't go to plan.
His prank didn't go to plan. The moment Gingrich landed on the ledge, he lost his footing and toppled over into the canyon proper.
Ah, there.
He dropped without making a sound, perhaps too shocked by his fatal miscalculation to even cry out as he fell. The target of his practical joke, his teenage daughter, was used to her father playing tricks on her. Unaware that he had actually fallen, she carried on up the path,
Oh,
expecting him to follow as soon as he saw that his joke hadn't landed. She had walked all the way to the car park and met up with the rest of their group before she realised that anything was truly amiss. It would be past nightfall before a search and rescue team would find Gingrich's body and fully confirm that his final prank really had gone too far.
Death would be too far, to be fair.
Similarly, showing off may have been a factor in another death on the 8th of September, 1993. 51-year-old James Merriman was a Flagstaff resident who periodically rode his bicycle out to the Grand Canyon in order to crawl through the railings at popular tourist spots and gather coins from ledges, where tourists would throw them for good luck.
You flippin' thief!
Merriman would often camp in the canyon during these coin-collecting expeditions, and was known to park rangers. Indeed, just a week before, they had been called to rescue him when he got into difficulty and became stuck on a ledge while gathering coins. This incident, it appears, did not deter Merriman from his money-making scheme. On the 8th of September, he visited Mather Point on the South Rim.
Thieves be thieving, right?
Having clambered out past the railing and gathered some coins, he found that he had a spellbound audience of tourists.
Oh no. Oh no.
Confident in his abilities, Merriman began jumping back and forth between two rocks,
fucking
inviting the watching
idiot,
crowd
man.
to take his picture. His final words were simply, "Watch me." No sooner had he uttered them than he lost his footing and plunged to his death.
I mean, what
Again,
do these people
these are
expect,
just a few incidents from a catalogue of many. Numerous unfortunate souls, the vast majority young and male, have suffered fatal falls while demonstrating their nerve and sure-footedness on the edge of one of the largest chasms on Earth.
It's just brain dead.
While
So
it may
stupid,
seem
man.
improbable that anyone should fall into the Grand Canyon when the danger posed by it is so evident, it can and does happen. It is easy to decry the victims of these incidents as foolish, and to lament their lack of sense. But it is also important to remember that their lives were cut short by a simple lapse of judgment.
That's very true. True. Very true. All right, that was brutal. If any of you guys are ever going to the Grand Canyon, remember what he just said. It was a momentary lapse in judgment. Make sure you don't do that. If you go to the Grand Canyon, don't be taking any stupid photographs for Instagram that's going to put yourself at risk, okay? Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And if you guys want me to react to anything, put it in the comments box down below. You have yourself a good day. Peace.